And good evening, everybody. It's Tuesday, May 17th, another Tuesday night in Philadelphia, and we have a busy sports night here, as opposed to last night when nothing was going on. The NBA and NHL both took the night off. The Phillies were off after a West Coast trip where they were in Seattle and Los Angeles, and they come home to take on the San Diego Padres tonight. They're in the fifth inning. It's no score. Each team has one hit. And the Phillies are trying to turn a double play, and Bryson Stott drops the ball. So they say dropped it on the exchange. So it's going to be 1-0 San Diego. I'm Bobby Cash. I'll be joined shortly by Chris Amos. We have the Florida Panthers taking on the Tampa Bay Lightning tonight. Florida leads 1-0 at the end of the first period. We have the Boston Celtics taking on the Miami Heat. And a short time ago, we found out that Boston's going to be without Al Horford and Marcus Smart tonight. We knew Marcus Smart was a possibility, but we found out late that Al Horford is going to be out because of health protocols. So that seems to be starting up again. More and more teams are losing guys, and more teams are starting to get back a positive test again. Sorry to say. That was a very, what should I say, sobering time in sports with no fans in the seats. And wasn't exciting. It's a lot better with the fans in the seats, healthy rosters, everybody out there playing. Taylor, what's up? She says, yo, what's good, Cash and Chris? Right now it's Cash going solo. Chris will be joining me in a few. So I'd like to say congratulations to Larry and Cecilia, who got married on Sunday. Congratulations to you guys. Shane checking in. Happy Tuesday, Cash and Chris. Go Birds. Go Birds. Jalen Hurts and the Birds. From what we hear, that's been a popular prop bet lately. A lot of people are jumping on the Jalen Hurts for MVP bet, which is 40-1. I'll be happy if Jalen Hurts is just able to be this Eagles quarterback for the season, let alone the MVP. If he can solidify himself as the starter, that'll be plenty enough. Taylor says congratulations on the trivia win. That was a good time we had on Sunday. Me, Angela, and Andrew and Patty were on there, and we had some trivia. It was a fun time. Shane says he loves those odds at 40-1. I mean, that's great odds, but Jalen Hurts is and he has the weapons. Yeah, he definitely has the weapons with A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and Dallas Goedert. I mean, if you look at 40-1, that's the same odds that Joel Embiid had at the early parts of the NBA season. He was 40-1, and he ended up being like minus 225 before the award was stolen from him by a big tree stump out in Denver, Nikola Jokic. Philadelphia knew it was coming, but we still weren't happy about it. As the Sixers head into the offseason, and Miami advances to play Boston. Golden State will take on Dallas in the West, which is also a shocker. I mean, how many people out there actually had Dallas beating Phoenix? And Chris Paul got old in a hurry in that series. He just didn't have it. He didn't dip into the fountain of youth like he had been in the last couple of seasons. And he turned 37 in a hurry, and he looked 37. Devin Booker, I'll give it to him. He was hurt. But at Game 7, nobody was stopping Dallas. They were up by about 35 at halftime. They were shooting 69%. There was nobody any night of the year that was going to beat that team that night. They just rolled to victory. And the Phillies head to the bottom of the fifth. Padres leading at 1-0. Phillies went out west. They took 2 out of 3 from the Mariners and 3 out of 4 from the Dodgers. So they won 5 out of 7. That's the cup half full. The cup half empty is they blew the game Sunday. They should have had the Dodgers swept. They had them swept. They blew the game. The 2 outs in the ninth, 3 straight hits by Cano. Yes, the umpire was squeezing him, but you have to throw strikes there, and you can't allow the Dodgers to just come back and to take the game. I don't care who they are. It was the bottom of the order. It's inexcusable. Our bullpen, as we've said year after year on our show here, needs help. Shane says, who won the race last weekend? The race went to Kurt Busch. Not Kyle, Kurt. I picked Kyle Busch. Kurt Busch was driving the number 45 Air Jordan sneaker car. It was a cool-looking car. He had the best car. Anytime he got back, third place, second place, he was able to come take the lead. He took the lead with about 20 laps to go and sailed to victory. Congratulations to Kurt Busch. He'll be in the playoffs this season. He tends to always get one win a year. He won a race in 19 straight years, as Chris Amos is calling in right now. Chris, what's up? Not much. Another Tuesday night. And yeah, a little bit. I'm jumping all over. It's a busy sports night. I was actually just talking a little bit of the race. Kurt Busch with the victory, and that cool looking Nike Air Jordan car.
Yeah, that was a fun race to watch. I mean, I thought Danny could make a push there at the end, but you're right. I mean, I think Kurt probably had the best car all day.
He did. No matter what happens, he was able to come back up front. And that was his 19th straight year winning a race. Pretty impressive.
I think you broke up on me a little bit.
I said that was his 19th straight year winning a race for Kurt Busch. Yeah. So we'll get back into Philly sports here, and Phillies are taking on the Padres. It's bottom of the 5th inning. Padres with a 1-0 lead. Each team had 1 hit coming into the 5th. But Zach Eflin or Mike Clevenger, which I thought would be a high-scoring game, I thought wrong. It's the pitching, the pitcher's goal so far.
Yeah, that over under of 8.5 doesn't look good. I mean, I just checked the scores. I was calling from umpire, and well, I don't know what was going on social media today. Was the Phillies were going to continue to hit since they got home off of a road trip where they were scoring some runs, and it's like, well, then you haven't been paying attention to this team over the years.
Yeah, it's not just this team. That's something that goes on with all sports, all teams really. A team coming off a West Coast trip tends to struggle at home in their first game. It's just getting adjusted.
Yeah, even with yesterday off, I guess that didn't really matter. And I don't know how much Harper's hurting on being out there in the middle of the lineup or not for the next couple games.
Yeah, it's definitely going to hurt you. They've been putting, and when they're playing the shift, they're putting Bohm at second base tonight. They're just going to the next extreme with these shifts. And the last inning, the shift cost them a run. They shifted Will Myers, and he hit the ball right through the second base hole. And that set up a run for the Padres. The Phillies just have nothing going on offensively tonight against the guy that's coming off of Tommy John surgery and Mike Clevenger.
Yeah, I don't think he had. I saw his record. I guess was 0-0 and an ERA of 5. Well, if he was coming off Tommy John surgery, like you said, I mean, then facing the Phillies is probably good for him, apparently.
Yeah, it's probably a great remedy. He's a guy out there on the mound with a lot of energy, little Tim Lincecum hair going on out there. As he's facing the best catcher in baseball here, JT Realmuto.
Oh, I thought the Phillies made a trade.
Yeah. Garrett Stubbs is starting tonight.
Well, what was funny was, I mean, in the last 2 games he played, the Phillies scored 20 runs and he was 0 for 9.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't get a couple of hits late in the games when they were up like 6 or 7 runs.
True.
Florida leads Tampa Bay 1-0, 16 minutes to go in the second. And we're going to get underway soon in Miami. Miami Heat take on the Boston Celtics. Celtics without two guys. I don't know if you heard. Al Horford and Marcus Smart are out tonight.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, injuries have been hitting every team in the playoffs, and if those two guys are out, I mean, I would favor Miami, of course, but the way Boston plays, you never know.
Yeah. I mean, they are the next man up type of team. Horford's had an injury. He's the COVID protocol, and Marcus Smart is his toe or his foot. So these health and safety protocols are starting to creep their way back into sports, as I said earlier.
Yeah, they are, and I don't know how much you had touched on the Sixers, but I mean, I just thought what we saw in the game that eliminated them was just absolutely a pitiful effort from everybody. I mean, I know Embiid was out there injured and playing with everything he had, but there was nobody to step up, and to lose like that in front of your home crowd. I mean, that's just don't leave a bad taste. But then again, that's Sixers basketball.
It's every year it's becoming a habit. 3 out of the last 4 years, they haven't been able to get out of the second round, and it's just they run into teams that they're. And Embiid said it. They're just better than us, and we weren't good enough. And it's almost like a shock when they win a game. It seems like in those kind of series, they're completely outmatched. They're the other team's way deeper, and frankly, what's going to change going forward? The Sixers don't have the money to go out there and get a bench, especially if you have to pay Harden all this money. That's less money you're going to have, and less money you're going to be willing to spend. This is not good. There's going to have to be a trade me. You're going to have to trade one of the big names.
Yeah, that's going to have to be Tobias Harris, I would assume.
And like we've said a million times, what's he going to get you? Tobias Harris isn't bringing you back a superstar. That's all this Bradley Beal talk. That's all you hear. If you're Washington, you're not giving up Beal for Tobias Harris.
You know, I don't know if they were trying to move him to get some more cap space or whatever they were trying to do. But the way I look at it is, I don't care what they bring in there. We're probably going to look at a second round next again next year as well.
Exactly. If you even make it that far, it's the same thing every year. I mean, Embiid, you're going to expect them to be hurt in the first round next year. It's just you can't even get excited anymore. It seems like.
No, that's what the biggest takeaway is for me. And then to say you're going to bring back Coach Rivers, and it's just like you got to run this back.
Exactly. Right. What are you running back? It's not like you were close.
Yeah, but I think maybe at least what the Sixers are trying to put out there, they think they were, they are, and if you look at these teams, they're not.
They're not, and nothing's going to change. Tatum's going to be a year more into his career. Brooklyn still may be a force.
Correct.
Miami's not going anywhere. You have Toronto, which could improve themselves. Atlanta's a decent team. Boston, of course.
Yeah. I mean, it's just I don't know. And if you look at Embiid now, what 4 years max left on him being a force as a center in the league or being who he's been. I mean, and I think 4 years is pushing it.
Yeah, you're being generous saying 4 years, of course. There's not much left in him. I mean, granted, he did miss 2 seasons, and I don't know if that's less wear on him or not, but he has so much wear on him. What are you going to have? You're going to have a 37-year-old Harden, a 33-year-old Embiid? No thanks.
No, exactly. We just keep running Rivers out there as well. Giving him the play hard. Supposed to start playing hard. There's a
problem. Yeah, that's a promise.
Yeah.
Then you'll have Tyrese. He'll probably be scoring 30 points a game by then, and he'll be frustrated.
Yeah, probably. It could be. I don't know. It's just we knew that they weren't going to be in the NBA Finals, but it's just the way it ended, where it looked like they were getting some momentum when Embiid came back. They won those 2 games, and then it just all of a sudden fell apart. And I just think a lot of it you got to put on James Harden, number one, but you got to put a lot of it on the coach as well.
It's not just the one coach. They have multiple coaches. I think, to be honest, it's too many coaches. You can't have all these guys in these guys' ears. You got to have a couple guys. I never heard of an NBA team having a defensive coach and an offensive coach. What's Rivers doing? If he has those two covered, what's he the coach of?
Well, I guess he makes the decision whether to review a play or not.
Yeah, once a game.
Yeah.
So I talked a little bit about the Phillies. I said they did win 5 out of 7 on the trip, and they easily could have won 6 out of 7. That's inexcusable to lose that game Sunday. I know you saw it coming, but still, you can't blow a lead against the bottom of an order with 2 outs in the 9th inning.
No, it was something that the road trip with them winning 5 of 7, but there was something that was learned on the road trip that, or at least was glaring. I don't know how well learned it was because it's something me and you have talked about. There is not one reliable bullpen pitcher on the Phillies. Not one.
Not one.
No, and Corey Knebel is not a closer.
Correct.
So it's because now I was up over the weekend and I watched the games against the Dodgers and they lost a 7-1 lead again. Now they won the game. That was more the Dodgers doing things the Phillies we're used to seeing the Phillies do.
Right.
And then the next night I'm screaming, if you put Familia in because he was going to be the closer, if you put him in, I mean I thought they would lose, but he did. And once again he blew a 2-run save, and the Phillies were fortunate enough to win it in extra innings. And it's just.
He's a guy that he's got to get released. I don't think I've seen him get through an inning this season without giving up a run. I mean, it's almost like he's a Mets spy, like he's pitching for the Mets. I mean, the guy can't get it out, and he doesn't care either.
No, and the other problem is that, and probably tonight at some point, I would think Joe is going to bring Alvarado in, and you should just put a run or two on the board as soon as he comes in as well.
Yeah.
And I mean, you just look at this and it's like, the Phillies aren't really a serious team with guys like that. They just can't be.
So in the same thought, we sit here and we say they have no bullpen. How can we blame Joe Girardi then?
Well, that's a very good question. But the other night, I would tell you this, that the last 2 games that he brought Familia in was the wrong move. To let him try and close that game when they were up 2-0 was the wrong move. And then to come back with him in a game where they were up 4-2, and he was fortunate to get through that inning because of a ground ball double play. That was a sharply hit ball that, a foot or two one way or the other, and the Phillies going to get tagged with the loss in that game. And I guess when you look at it, and you got Corey Knebel, who was brought over to be a closer, which he's not. He did get the first 2 outs rather easily in that inning. Gets 2 strikes on Bellinger, gives up a triple, walks the next guy. And Lux comes up and hits one to right field for a double, and the 2-run score, and the game's over. And it's like, well, whatever good was done with the wins on the road trip, I mean, the team's back under 500. They're 6 games out of first place. And I don't know what else you can say.
Well, first place, that's over. You can forget about first place. Now, the other question is going to be, can they make a playoff run? And the way the format is now, you're in it till the end, no matter what you do, really. The way baseball's done it is you're going to be alive. I mean, they keep you in it pretty much. So it's the 3 division winners and the next 3 best records. So it's not the second place team, which I thought they were going to do.
Yeah, I was having some flashbacks when I was having some conversations with some people, and I was having the flashbacks to 2008 when Brad Midge came in and the game was over.
All right.
You got that feeling going through the season that, okay, getting to him meant the Phillies were getting a victory. And Now, of course, nobody these days goes 48 and ends up winning the World Series. But it's been 10 years of just whoever comes in. I'm thinking about Kurt Schilling in the 1993 World Series with a towel over his head. When Mitch Williams came in, you just can't look. It's like,
I was thinking about the same thing you're saying right now the other day. It's just there's no closers in baseball anymore. What is it that nobody wants to be a closer coming up? Nobody, anybody with a good arm just automatically a starter and never groomed to be a closer. Right? You used to have teams with starters, that didn't have the stamina. They'd make that guy a closer. He could throw 99 to 100, up in that range. Nowadays, it's the Phillies haven't had a closer since Lidge.
Yeah, I mean, they tried a few. Jonathan Papelbon there a little bit. I mean, he wasn't. He wasn't his best self when he was in Philadelphia.
No.
And it just seems, guys. I mean, for a long time there, they had Hector Neris in that spot. So
that's why I said they haven't had a closer.
Correct. And, when you think of closers right now in baseball, I mean, for me, there's not many guys that, like you said, jump out. I mean, Kimbrel jumps out for the Dodgers because he's done it for a while. Edwin Diaz for the Mets has been fairly good this year. I know he blew one game against the Diamondbacks where he gave up a home run, but they ended up winning that one. Let's see. You have Chapman for the Yankees.
Yeah, you got Josh Hader in Milwaukee.
Correct.
There's not.
More jumping out.
Chapman, Diaz. Yeah, I mean, if you look at the list, it's Taylor Rogers in San Diego. He has 13. I mean, that's not really a name. Jordan Romano in Toronto has 12 saves. Liam Hendricks, I'm from the White Sox. Liam Hendricks was a converted starter. That Mark Melancon, he seems to pop up on a different team every season. His ERA is 8.49, and he's 0-5. And he has 7 saves. Kenley Jansen's on the Braves. We haven't seen the Braves yet, have we?
No, and it's weird because it's been Mets heavy.
Yeah.
Who's coming in this weekend? I don't even know that.
The Dodgers, right?
Yeah, I guess it is the Dodgers coming in this weekend. So they got the Padres and the Dodgers with some payback.
Yeah, this is that big stretch in the schedule where they're everybody thought they were going to lose them all. Somehow they won 5 out of 7 on the road. Just like every other Philadelphia team, they think they're going to lose, they win, and then think they're going to win, they lose.
And games, where it says, after this stretch of a month, the schedule is going to ease up. No, it doesn't. Because the teams playing the Phillies think their schedules has eased up.
Yeah. Look at we talked about the Reds last time. They've won 6 out of 10. They've turned it around. They were 3-20 or 3-19. Not that they've turned it around, but I mean they're winning some games all of a sudden.
Yeah, that one ending on Sunday. I would say starting with Familia on Sunday, and then what they did in the ninth is turned the Dodgers around a little bit because they've won 3 in a row. I see that they came back and beat the Diamondbacks again today. So
yeah, and the Mets took game 1 of the doubleheader.
Okay.
And they trailed 3-2.
Any good teams like the Dodgers. My goodness, that lineup has some guys who are struggling, but that's an impressive lineup. And good teams like that, once they get anything like that, after they've been struggling, are able to turn it around and win 3 in a row. And the Diamondbacks haven't been playing bad this year.
No, I mean look at the team they have. I mean, you start with a Mookie Betts, and then you go to a Freddie Freeman and a Trey Turner. That's 3 MVP candidates right there at the top of their order. That's just too much. I mean, that's a super team right there.
Yeah, they don't lack for starting pitching either. I mean,
No.
I know Kershaw. I guess the Phillies missed him. He had gone on the IL.
Yeah.
But and then Walker Buehler had to make. I don't know if it was a start he wasn't ready for because he didn't look like himself.
Yeah, it was.
That night.
It was a last minute thing that actually played into the hands of the Phillies. They hit an unprepared Walker Buehler, I guess we'd say. They got they got a break. Oh wow, my eyes fail me. I was ready to say it's 8:36. It's 8:26 on the East Coast. You're listening to IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. And I wish Larry congratulations. He got married over the weekend on Sunday to his fiancee Cecilia out in San Diego.
Yeah, wish all the best to them. I guess she's probably going to need it. Larry's the lucky guy, though. I'm just kidding with him. I mean,
Yeah.
that was good news, and I guess IE Sports Radio 8 years, correct?
Correct. Also celebrated their 8-year anniversary this weekend. We've been with them for the last year.
Yep, we're looking forward to 8 more.
That's our 61st episode tonight. After our,
I think you could take his episode, and we could probably just play this episode next year at the same time.
I know, just like last year.
Exactly.
That's why, if you notice, I don't really want to even talk about it. I kind of like did like a an all around sports opening tonight. I talked about the other teams that are alive and out there. The Celtics, Heat, and the surprising Dallas Mavericks.
Well, I would say the surprising Phoenix Suns. I mean, they made the Sixers exit look not so bad after what happened there. My goodness.
That's what I said. I mean, Chris Paul he got old overnight. I think it was Patrick Beverly said that the rest of the league calls him Chris Cone Paul because he doesn't play any defense. I was actually
maybe the Sixers will get him, right?
Yeah. I was actually home today and I was able to watch the ESPN shows this morning. JJ Redick was on there with Patrick Beverly and Stephen A. Smith. And Patrick Beverly was James Harden's biggest supporter. I know they're friends. That's probably why he was, he said he would give him a super max. And JJ Redick pretty much laughed him off the stage. I mean, everybody said he basically told him everybody out there knows he's not a super max player. And Beverly kept yelling, "Why not? Why not?" He's trying to get his buddy paid. Really, is what's going on.
Well, if that's a supermax player, I'm gonna start taking some shots and trying to get in shape. Then.
Yeah, well, he kept stressing the fact that he scores 22 points, gets 10.5 assists, and 8 rebounds. He said, "If I don't tell you the name of that guy, that's a supermax player." And breaking news: the Orlando Magic have won the NBA draft lottery. And we'll draft first in the 2022 NBA draft. I don't know what that gets you. It's a pretty weak draft, but congratulations.
There's not a Shaquille O'Neal out there.
No, there is a Sean Bradley. His name is Chet. His name is Chet Holmgren from Gonzaga.
You are correct. Sean Bradley. The Sixers. Yeah, I don't have much to say about Sean Bradley. There's not much to say. Even though recently he has had some health trouble with, I guess, a motorcycle accident.
Bicycle accident.
Okay.
Yeah, it was just riding a bike. And I don't know if he got hit by a car or fell, but it was definitely a bicycle. Reminds you of Jack.
A 7'6" guy riding a bike. Wow.
Yeah.
I think you'd be able to see him.
Yeah, I hear you.
Right. Oh my goodness. But no, it was a thing to where he was taken second in the draft. I don't know I forget right now who was taken right before him.
I believe it was Chris Webber.
I think you might be right on that. And it was one of those things where the Sixers had to take him because if you don't and he goes someplace else and plays well, you look stupid. And 7'6" and back then centers were kind of still dominant in the league. And that's the one thing I wanted to ask you, Bobby, with Embiid is not your typical center, but when your team is focused on a big man like him or like Jokic, well, you see where those teams are now.
Yeah, I mean, they're both perimeter center. I mean, they don't play inside, and I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that they're guys that are not forced but counted on their team to play almost 40 minutes a game, and they can't. Their bodies can't handle the constant posting up. Those prototypical centers you're talking about, besides Will Chamberlain, who played the whole game, those guys back in the 90s and late 80s, they played about 32 minutes a game. They got a lot of rest, so they were able, like Patrick Ewing and Hakeem Olajuwon. What am I reading here? Former Bears running back Tariq Cohen injured in Instagram workout. Oh wow, you should.
Oh, gee.
So I'm trying to find the draft results. All I got is the breaking news saying Orlando won it, but
Okay.
not anything else. But yeah, back to the centers. I was watching the Chicago Bulls last night. The Last Dance. Ever see that?
No, but I've heard a lot about it. That was the in-depth behind the scenes about Michael Jordan and a lot of his career. I know Scottie Pippen had some negative things regarding what either to say about Jordan or about that show. I'm not sure which it was.
Well, I mean, I don't see how you can really, after watching the show, how you can really bash the show because most of the show was just actual footage of the Bulls last season. It was pretty cool that they recorded everything. The cameras were in the locker rooms before the games, after the games, and it really made Michael Jordan out to be I'm not a better guy, but like a more outgoing and like gracious guy than I previously thought he was. I thought he was like a miserable guy in the locker room and didn't like talk to fans. But he was cool. I mean, he joked around with kids and messed around with the players on his team. They said he was really like an in the moment type of guy, and he was. He was more. Yeah, he had more of a charming personality than I thought he did. So anybody out there listening, if you want to check it out, that's something to watch.
Yeah, without seeing the show, and you telling me that, I'm surprised by it because a lot of what and the way he was portrayed, it was a little, it was different, but he was that way because he was so competitive.
Right.
And I guess now his role with Charlotte, I guess I don't know if that competitiveness leaves you or not, but he's got to be frustrated with what's going on there.
Yeah, I mean, it's a guy that doesn't like to lose, and that a lot of it's stressed. I mean, the one guy he did get on was Scott Burrell. I don't know if you remember Scotty Burrell.
I do.
He hated him. He wanted he told he said to Burrell, he said, if we win tonight, it's my last game with you, and I don't ever want to see your face again. And Burrell laughed, and he said, no, I'm serious. If I ever see you out at a bar, I'm going to kick your ass, he said. he said, no, I'm serious. And Burrell just sat there with a smile, and Pippen was in between them. But did they score? No, they didn't. Yeah, looked like the whole crowd stood and cheered, but they didn't score. They had said going into that last year that Phil Jackson could have gone 82-0 and would not return as the coach. So after that, they tell you that Jerry Reinsdorf, the owner, did call Phil and offer him the job and say, I want you back. But he said, no. He said, because of Jerry Krause, he said, I'm going to take some time off. I mean, the Bulls haven't been good since, really, except for maybe a couple of years with Derrick Rose.
Yeah, they probably would have. And I think the best year with Derrick Rose, he ended up getting hurt in the first round of the playoffs against the Sixers, and they were the 1 seed, and they ended up losing to the Sixers, who were the 8 seed.
Yeah, with the Andre Iguodala and was it Drew Holiday
and Elton Brand. Yeah, and then they pushed Boston to a Game 7.
Yeah, Lou Williams.
Yep. Yeah, you're right.
That was almost more exciting than being the underdog.
Yeah, and it's just when I still say that you're talking about Michael Jordan, and I'm getting James Harden coming to my mind, and it's just when the trade was made, it was like, okay, Simmons is gone, that saga is going to end, and they got a guy here who, okay, he had problems when he was with Houston. He had some issues in Brooklyn and wanted out. So he's finally getting to where it looks like he's getting to a place where he wants to be. He wants to be with Embiid. He's going to be here, and it's going to be something different and something special. And I mean, it was just more of the same.
Yeah.
I just scratched my head. I don't know if the Sixers would have been a better team without the trade.
No, yeah. I mean, I hated to see Seth Curry go. I talked to a guy yesterday that I don't want to reveal his name, of course, but he knows guys. He knows people in the Sixers organization, and he told me that when they were making this deal with the Nets would have just taken Thibault, but they threw out Curry just to, because they knew that was Doc Rivers' son-in-law. And he said they would have done the trade without Curry, and the Sixers gave in and did it anyway. I mean,
well, now, when you look at what Thibault did in the playoffs, it's a good thing the Sixers kept him.
Yeah, sure.
Oh my goodness.
Now, thinking back.
There was so many people. We got it. No, you can't lose him. You can't lose him. You can't lose him. I think, man, you said on here, what are you talking about?
Yep, I've always never liked him. He was our, besides Romuto, he was the other guy we used to bash all the time. Now, looking back, we know now that the Nets knew that Harden was this guy, that he wasn't the same player. And I'm thinking the Sixers didn't have to give any of those. They maybe Drummond. You could have given Drummond. They didn't have to give any. They might have done Simmons and Drummond for Harden. Might have done Simmons straight up.
I'll tell you what, the GM of the Sixers, with a lot of the things that he said recently, and people maybe putting some faith in him that he'll be able to fix this or whatever, I have zero faith in him.
Zero.
What has he done in his career other than trade for James Harden?
Yeah, everywhere he goes brings in James Harden. Who's he going to fix it with? There's no money available. Maybe Danny Green's money, but there's nothing. You're going to free up is Niang back? I mean, you still have Korkmaz is on a 3-year deal. Wow, it's going to be the same thing. Nobody's going to want to come here. You're a free agent.
The only thing that he's going to have a chance to bank on is that somehow James Harden can turn back the clock. And technically, if they want to argue he wasn't completely healthy, he comes back healthy and can be what he was previously. And the odds of that, I mean, I got a better chance of Ed McMahon showing up saying I've won Publishers Clearinghouse than Ed McMahon's dead. It'd be Steve Harvey or Terry Bradshaw, I think, who do it now. But
on that note, it is past 8:36. It's 8:38.
Yep. If you do the reads, and I'm gonna walk inside.
I'm gonna pull up the reads here. There's a lot of them. Florida leads Tampa Bay 1-0 in the second period with 4 minutes to go.
Switch over here to speaker.
Switching Twitter accounts. We're going to find Adam's message here. 1 second. And here we go. The world of semi-pro sports is unlike any other sports organization. Players pay to play in hopes of so many at different outcomes, whether it's playing to get film, to try out for professional teams, big-time colleges, or just playing to stay in shape. No matter what, all semi-pro players have one thing in common, and that's playing for the love of the game. The SoCal Warriors have been on a quest to earn titles and give players second chances since 2017. Whether you're in Southern California or anywhere in the world, give semi-pro sports a chance if you love your sport. You may get that second chance you've been waiting for as an athlete. You can find the Southern California Warriors on Twitter at SoCal Warriors, on Instagram at Southern California Warriors _ Warriors, and on Facebook, Southern California Warriors. For the last 8 years, well, 7, now it's 8, IE Sports Radio has been bringing you amazing content ranging from interviewing legendary athletes to building tailor-made shows. And Tampa Bay scores. Dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. All the while, we continue to be by the fans, for the fans, and with your help, we are ready to take the next step. When you go to our website, iesportsradio.com, you'll see our Patreon link with 5 different tiers. The first one starting at just $5 a month. This donation gets you shout-outs on all 32 of our shows. Higher tiers include IE Sports Radio merchandise, access to our podcasting university, and even a chance to be featured on a segment of our flagship show, The Defining Moment. Thank you all very much for continuing to make IE Sports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports. And we have 4 Patreon supporters now. Bay Area Raised, M. Los Great, Key to the Gate, and Anonymous. Our fan of the month is Justin Bystrom, a Vikings fan from Minnesota. And he can be found on Twitter at TheSportsCrib21. And thank you to everyone who made our 8th anniversary so special. Here's to many more years to come, and we'll be right back.
Welcome in to the Neutral Zone. I'm your host, Robert Kavanaugh, and you're listening to IE Sports Radio. If you like big, nasty hits, if you like slap shots straight to the neck, if you like it when the gloves hit the ice and the big boys get down, then this is your show. On IE Sports Radio, this is the Neutral Zone. May our shots on goal always be true and straight to the net. If they are not, may they be followed up, redirected, or change collected. Let's go on IE Sports Radio with me, your host, Robert Kavanaugh, and this is the Neutral Zone.
What's up, everybody? This is Taryn Rodriguez. Are you a fan of volleyball? Are you a fan of Thunder Spikes? Then I have the show for you, Set Point, where I cover NCAA men's and women's volleyball, high school boys and girls volleyball, beach volleyball, and even professional volleyball. Catch the action every week here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
And welcome back, everybody, to our final segment, 8:43 here on the East Coast.
I'm your host, Robert Kavanaugh, and you're listening to
As for some reason, the commercial is still playing.
Big Nasty Hits.
Very good.
You guys off mute, though, that's okay.
I got it. So we're back. Tampa Bay tied the game at 1 right before we went to the break. And once again, they're on the power play again. So it's the NHL just wanting Tampa Bay to go to the repeat, I guess. Let's see what happened. Oh, I went to the boards and he ran into the guy's stick. That's not a penalty. Right to the face.
Yeah, that's one thing, too, when you say that. It doesn't seem to jump right out that they have won it the last 2 years, but they have. I mean, the 1 year was the COVID bubble year for them. And last year, you know, they were definitely the best team. And
Well, I mean, the reason I like Florida is because of the way they played Tampa in the playoffs last year. Tonight's game looked the same way. Tampa Bay was having trouble clearing the zone, and Florida was putting tons of pressure on. But when you're on a main disadvantage for, 10 minutes so far of 40 minutes of the game, it's hard to get anything going.
it is.
It's just, you're constantly killing power plays.
Well, and speaking of hockey, though, the Rangers with the 3-1
Yeah.
comeback to beat the Penguins,
Yep.
and it looked like there in Game 7 that the goalie for the Rangers, Shesterkin, was kind of going to cough it up, but that Rangers team that we talked about, they're going to be a tough out for Carolina for sure.
Yeah, I don't know if Shesterkin struggled because of Pittsburgh's offense or he's just not that good. But he was the reason I took the Rangers, and he struggled. I mean, he was the overwhelming favorite to win the Vezina. I mean, he's the best goalie in the league somehow. But
Yeah.
he hasn't shown to be that in the playoffs so far.
No, I think that has looked pretty good though in the playoffs, and since he's got Florida, that Floyd Giroux guy. You know, the Flyers are trying to get a guy like that.
Yeah, well, he's hungry. You know, he wants a Stanley Cup, and that's the team he picked. So I mean,
Yeah, and he's playing with professionals now who are guys who have a good chance of winning, and he actually has fit in well there. I know we always talk about doing the Flyers minute, but I guess they need a coach, right?
Yeah. So in that case, I present to you 8:46 Eastern, the world famous Flyers minute. Boo!
I guess that's what it is. I mean, they are going to try to find someone to come in and be the coach. Now, I don't know if you go outside the box or you go traditional. I mean, Barry Trotz has been a name that everyone's been talking about.
Yeah, every team wants Barry Trotz. Seems like every time a team gets eliminated, it's hire Barry Trotz, please.
Well, if you're waiting around and like it seems like he's doing, and you look at these teams, I don't think the Flyers are going to jump out as the team.
Nah, he doesn't want to coach a team like that.
No.
Taryn says, hope you're having a great show. He just got out of the dentist. Hope everything's okay at the dentist, Taryn. And Taylor says, Papa John's or Pizza Hut? That's a good question. I haven't had Papa John's much in my life, so I guess I'd have to go Pizza Hut. How about you?
I have had more Pizza Hut, but wow, to make that as a question, I'm going to go Papa John's. And the thing about it is, there's to a lot of people, at least from my experience, Papa John's has been either hit or miss because of the sauce. The sauce is different. It's more of a natural sauce and more of a sugar-based sauce, I think.
Okay.
As the Padres extend their lead to 3-0.
Against another one of the worst members of the worst bullpen in baseball, Brad Haynes, who is a...
Yeah, for those people out there, I'm going to point to people who like to make comments against me when I say stuff about the Phillies. All I'm going to do for this next couple of days, since I pointed out exactly what was going to happen tonight, is just tell them, listen to this show. That's going to be my response to everything. Tonight when they put up on there that the Phillies lost, all I'm going to do is put our show there, because this is what this team is. Okay, as of now, when I look at it, right, the playoff structure may be different. This is a fourth place team, people. I'm sorry. The hitting may be something that comes together for a stretch, but they don't have the pitching to do it. They just don't.
Nothing to add. It's exactly how I feel. Once again, it's one of the worst bullpens there is.
You finally go over the luxury tax as an owner, which is a good thing. Is the city excited? Kyle Schwarber, guys hit some home runs. He struggled some. Castellanos is a very good professional player. And I'm trying to come up with the right analogy with like signing those two guys, and then you look at Brad Hand, Jurius Familia, and you're bringing back Alvarado. When you look at the pen, I mean, I'll go up with an analogy here in a minute that's kind of equal.
Well, it's not like they went out and got established major league relievers that are shut down guys. These are bums. These are guys that stunk last year. These aren't.
Well, and the thing about it is, there's a reason why they were available for the Phillies to get them.
Right.
As I said, and sometimes it gets to be a harsh word when you use garbage, but nobody collects and uses more bullpen garbage than the Philadelphia Phillies.
Year after year.
Nope.
And it's not like they're starters. The starters are only going, they can't get past the sixth inning, so you're going to have to use these guys every night to get 9 outs. And it's almost like saying a prayer and hoping it happens.
And Bobby, can you believe that they have lost now 7 straight starts from Aaronola, and it hasn't been Aaronola the problem?
Yeah. Yeah, they don't send the score when he pitches for some reason.
No, and just like the other day, that game that they lost was the one that he started, and he gave up 2 runs to that Dodgers lineup. I mean, he was excellent.
Yeah. Speaking of excellent, it looks like our chat board agrees that Papa John's is the excellent, because I haven't seen a Pizza Hut vote. I don't know. Papa John's. It's just not somewhere I would go to get a pizza for $13.99 when I can go to a local pizza shop and have a Italian pizza. I mean,
now that's the thing. I mean, here in my town, we have two very, very good pizza shops like that. There is no Pizza Hut here. There was a Pizza Hut really close to for a long time when I was growing up. And there is no Papa John's around here. I mean, there's not even a Papa John's close enough to get a delivery here. So
yes, that's the thing. If these places are so good, how come there was more of them when we were kids? I mean, there used to be a Pizza Hut in the Kohl's parking lot. There was one right down the street from me. That's a Wawa now. All the Pizza Huts are gone. I mean, and Papa John's was one of those that became a Domino's. I mean, now these places were as good as people say they are. They won't be shutting down. What is that?
yeah, we have a Domino's. The closest Pizza Hut is maybe 8 miles from here. I mean, I see it all the time when I go down to we have a local video game store here in the area. It's called Just Press Play, and I go there frequently. And there's a Pizza Hut next in that same strip mall there, but it's carry out. It's not a sit down restaurant or anything like that.
All right, so what do we got? 8:53. NASCAR. I covered that. Kurt Busch won. My fault. I did not see where they are this weekend. I usually watch the race to find out, but I don't think they talked much about this week's race. They are going to be, what's it, the All-Star weekend already?
I think it is.
It's the All-Star weekend. That's why they didn't talk about it. All right, so I won't pick a winner there unless you want to.
No, I don't know. I don't think I have one to pick.
Yeah.
Kyle Larson.
Yeah, sure, Kyle Larson.
Did you mention who you liked out of Dallas Golden State? I'm pretty sure I can guess it's Golden State.
Yeah, I don't see Dallas winning a game in that series.
No, I don't either.
I mean, I did a lot of talking on Twitter Spaces over the week. I don't understand how Steve Kerr could come out and say he's going to have Andrew Wiggins on Luka Doncic to start the game. I don't understand why. You have a top 5 defender in Draymond Green, and I think you just put him on him the whole game and take away his soul. I mean, you make him uncomfortable, and I don't see why you don't do that. I mean, Draymond Green's not a guy that's anything on offense, so him playing hard on defense is going to be perfect for you. That's a perfect matchup.
Yeah, if it looks like Dallas has any life in the series, I would have no doubt that Steve Kerr will be able to combat that. That's the difference here in Philadelphia. When those things go on, the other coaches can combat what the Sixers are doing positive, and the Sixers can never do that the other way.
Right. So, that I picked them, and in the Miami-Boston series, I haven't seen the score yet. I love Boston. I just don't like the way the series. They're probably going to drop it tonight, but they're actually up 14-6.
Yeah, if Boston is pretty healthy, I would like Boston to win that in probably 6.
Yeah.
But Miami's just that team that every time you think that they're just about on the way out, they're not.
I don't think Miami has the offense to beat a team like Boston. I think they'll shut down a Max Strus. They won't let him beat them.
Jimmy Butler can get 40.
Exactly.
Down the rest.
Exactly. All right, let's go to TV. There's a movie that I've been trying to watch probably for the past 2-3 months. I refuse to pay for movies on cable because we're already paying a ridiculous amount of money to begin with. So I don't care what kind of movie it is, but I will never pay whatever it costs to watch it. I'll wait till it comes on HBO. The movie Old is finally available. It's a movie I wanted to see. It's an M. Night Shyamalan movie. It's about where the family goes to the beach and basically they age 2 years every half hour, I think it is.
I have seen every one of his movies. Have you?
Unless there's movies I don't know about. I mean, yeah, I know. He's actually in this movie. Is he in all of them?
I'm not
Okay, well he's in this movie. He's like the driver that takes them to the beach. It's a pretty cool movie. I'm not going to give much away. Just other than that was shown in the previews. They go to this beach and they're aging, and you're going to say, why didn't they just leave? Well, basically they can't leave. So
Yeah, I didn't know that was on HBO. It is.
just
I'll watch that before next week.
just in the last couple of days, it became. I check every day. I have it in my search, so I saw it said free. I was like, hey, it's free. I finally can watch it. So I checked it out. I finished it last night, and it was good. It's great idea. I mean, all the movies today, everything seems to be recycled. This was an idea I've never seen, so it was
from the past, from the village, sticks out in my mind.
Sixth Sense.
The happenings as what was the Mel Gibson one with the alien? Boy.
I said Sixth Sense. That's all I can.
I'll look it up here right before we end. It's a meeting that's in my mind where it was water. I'm sorry if I'm giving it away, but that's an older one.
The Visit.
The Visit. That's it. I was thinking something different, but yeah, it's The Visit. I'd be interested in watching that. One thing I would say that I'm also interested in watching it. It's free. It's on Paramount, so I don't know if I think it's on Peacock. I'm sorry, it's on Peacock. I got that confused. It's a new version of the Stephen King novel Firestarter.
Yeah, I see that on there.
That is one of my all-time favorite novels, and one of my all-time favorite Stephen King's, obviously. And I remember a lot of the movie with Drew Barrymore and George C. Scott, which is a very good movie, but there's so much that was left out. And I guess this is probably going to be more the same with a lot left out that you have to do from the book, but I plan on checking that out as well.
And Shane checks in and says Signs. Was that another one? We didn't.
Yes.
We didn't say.
Yep, that's another one as well. And I believe he did the ones with Bruce Willis, the Unbreakable.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And Kyle Schwarber swings at a pitch that bounced about 50 feet. So.
Well, at least it didn't go between his legs.
There's your big signing. All right, that about wraps it up. Thank you for everyone who joined us tonight in our 61st episode.
Hey, before we get off, I just want to thank Bobby for taking over the reins here and helping me out as I filling out with some umpiring, and I just want to give a shout to him for filling in and doing a great job.
My pleasure. Anytime.
Yes.
Taryn, Shane, Taylor, Cheyenne, anybody else I missed? I think that's it. Everybody, Thank you. We look forward. Oh, and everybody that listens to us on our podcast, of course, our downloads. We're approaching 1,300 downloads. I'd like to thank everyone for that.
Yes, thank you guys very much.
Everybody have a great week, and we'll see you next Tuesday night on Philly Sports Talk here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Good night.